What's going on, good people? How we doing? Happy Saturday to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. Yes, Happy New Year. Thankful to be here in this new year. New me, new you, new everybody, right? At least that's what we think at the beginning of the year, right? New year, new me. But let me know if the audio's good. Let me know if the visual is good. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Um, or just let me know that I'm good in the chat. Shout out to everybody already in the building. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. It'll let the algorithm know that we in the building. And the algorithm will let other Giants fans know that we in the building. But how we doing, man? How we doing, man? A lot of things to talk about, man. A lot of things to talk about. Obviously, the coaching candidates got released. A short list. Not really a short list though. Um Joe Shane looked like he's going to be safe. We're going to talk about that too. Obviously we had Dallas the end of the season. Um, yeah, a lot of things to get into, man. The Giants. Let me start off with this, man. Let me start off with this. I'm gonna get to the roll call. Let me just make sure I'm good. The audio clear, visuals great. Okay, perfect. I want to say this, man, before I get into what I want to talk about. And shout out to the people that watched the videos that I put out this week. You guys saw me ranting. I put out a couple of shorts too, just ranting on the whole Joe Shane thing. And I know some people might feel differently about it, but I think for the majority of us in here, outside of a few people, you want them to complete the job of cleaning the house. That's what you want. That's what I want. And it's just crazy to me. Actually, it's not crazy to me because it's absolutely what the Giants always do is play around, play in our faces. You know, Joe Shane could be safe. Joe Shane will be here for the draft. It's a lot of I still have faith in Joe Shane going on. And for me, I'm like, what's the definition of insanity? What is the definition of insanity? The New York Giants are the definition of insanity. But again, Happy New Year to everybody. Let me get a quick roll call real quick. Luann in the building. Say year. What's going on, Luann? How you doing? Phil says, Matt Burke, you heard it here first. Matt Burke, defensive coordinator for the Texans. That's one of the guys that's I don't know if he was mentioned on that Jordan Renan list. I think I saw his name as possibles. But we're gonna get into that. Big brother in the building said, let's go, Dash. What's going on, big bro? Stacy said, what's good, Dash? What's going on, Stacy? Was it life at full speed? My man Joe Costello in the building says, how we doing? How we doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Jay Costello. My man Kevin Cox in the building. What's going on, Kev? How you doing? OKC in the building. NYG. Kev with the support says everyone like and subscribe. Please listen to Kev. If you have not subscribed to this channel and you are a New York Giants fan, and Kev, I know you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, but you show love. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Please. And guess what, man? We probably won't make it to 10K before the season ends unless something phenomenal happens in the next 2 days or so, whatever. But then we had a good run. We almost at 10K, less than 100 left. And yeah, if we don't make it by the end of this season, we damn sure gonna make it in the off season. So shout out to everybody for all the love and support, man. As always. Shout out to my man Jay Ferris in the building. He says, explain the Mark Ingram AI photo that is not you. So now, first you said like Darius Alexander, and now you sound like Mark Ingram. Are you talking about in the animation? Now the animation is dope though. Shout out to Chat GPT for that animation. I put up my picture that you guys see. I think it's my Twitter profile picture, and that's what Chat GPT came out with. GPT came out with that animation, and I think it's dope, and I love it, and I think it's here to stay. Tony Benino says no Giant fans want Joe Shane. Surprisingly, there's still some people that said, "Hey, you should." I'm arguing with people every day. and it's funny to me. But yeah, no, there's still some people saying, he got us out of cap hell, and then he put us right back in cap hell. That's the part they don't go to after that. Oh, did you look at the cap that he inherited? Yeah, he fixed the cap and then went right back in the cap hell. Now he's fixing his own problem. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Thank you, OKC. He says, congrats, Dash, 10K coming soon. Appreciate New York Giant content grind. That's a fact. We grinding over here, man. We grinding over here. Kev says, Giants record is what's holding you back. You guys get to the NFC conference game. Your channel going to explode. Now, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. Hopefully. Oh man, Joe Ferris says you guys caught up on the ninjas who has a who has a job. The ninjas who has a job. What we talking about? Xavier, what's going on, Xavier? How your son doing, man? How your son doing? He says I'm thinking Kevin Stefanski and Jim is coming. Listen, man. As bad as I want Jim Schwartz, I don't want Kevin Stefanski. If I can get Jim Schwartz without Kevin Stefanski, cool. Because before I was like, you know what? Give me Kevin Stefanski as long as I can get Jim Schwartz. I don't know about Kevin Stefanski now, man. He's making a lot of crazy decisions over there. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to retread. He might need to sit down for a little bit. They might need to put him on timeout and let him realize that, you know, whatever complex he got going on as far as being in control over there in Cleveland, he need to go sit down for a little bit. A lot of the good coaches had to sit down for a little bit. A lot of them had to. But it is what it is. Joe Ferris says, I'm tired of all the BS. If I hired Big Dash, what would you do as GM or head coach? Who would you be? Who would you be? And what moves you do? All right, man. I'll play the game with you. Right? So if I was a GM, first thing I'm doing is trying to secure that draft pick, and I'm making a trade. Actually, let me start over. The first thing I'm doing if I'm the GM, I'm extending Jermaine Illuminor. Pause. I'm getting that contract done, and then I'm trying to figure out a way to get Darius Slayton off of my roster. I'm hoping that I can trade him, eat a little bit of money, and then, you know, maybe another team eats about $9 to $10 million of that. I'm cool with eating about $6 million. $16 million, I can't handle that. I can't handle that. But that's sign Jermaine Illuminor, find somebody to take Darius Slayton for a little bit of money. And then it's do I bring back Wan'Dale Robinson, or do I sign Cordell Flott? I'm trying to get something done there. Also, if I was the GM, I would have made these moves in the summertime, and these contracts would have been a lot cheaper than what they are right now. Put it that way. But with this current situation, I'm also trying to figure out whether or not, especially with the resurgence or emergence of Abdul Carter, the last few weeks, I'm looking at the draft. If I can't get, you know, a day 2 pick, trying to trade back, maybe Kayvon Thibodeau is on the table, possibly. And then I know what you want to say. Who's the head coach? For me, it's Brian Flores. I'm going right to John Mara or the Mara family, whoever's going to be in charge at the time. You know, we know John Mara's dealing with some things. I'm going to the lawyers, and I'm like, hey, what's Brian Flores' number? Well, how much money gets this done? We're gonna settle out of court. You're gonna be the next head coach of the New York Giants. Let me know who your coordinators are. That's it, man. You threw me on the spot. That's what I'm thinking. Reckless says, hell no, Stefanski. Luann says, I want the DC to stay and McCarthy as a head coach because he is an offensive mind. There's a lot of people that want Mike McCarthy. We're going to talk about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy gets his own little segment tonight. So we're going to talk about Mike McCarthy, man. I'm seeing a lot of other Giants content creators really push the Mike McCarthy thing. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy. It wouldn't be the first time. Jay Ferris, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that I was thinking something crazy. But hey, I don't know about the McCarthy thing. Joe says, is it Joe Edwards? Yeah, Joe Edwards says, Dash, get Ryan Grubb for our OC. Ryan Grubb. I'm stumped. I don't know Ryan Grubb. Who's Ryan Grubb? Let me know. I might be overthinking things. I might just be drawing a blank. Who's Ryan Grubb? Let me know. Remy says, Jermaine, I would sign him. Oh, he said I would sign him though either. Oh, you wouldn't sign him, or you would sign him? Because you said either wouldn't sign, or you wouldn't sign him either. Why don't you like Jermaine? It's the money, right? I think it's the money. I think it's how much you might have to pay him. Or is it that because you have Marcus Bow already? And that's what it is. Let me know, Remy. Let me know. My Kev says Mike is not good. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He had Aaron Rodgers. He had Dallas, who was that roster was stacked. Stacked. Yes, he won 12 games 3 times in a row, but that's it. Those kind of rosters, you go to the Super Bowl, or at least the conference championship with those kind of rosters. You win all those games in the regular season, you get to the playoffs and it's duds. So you tell me. He might. Guess what though? You know what? It's like a placebo for a lot of people. You take it, you think you feel good. Mike McCarthy's not that. You think you fixed the problem, you really didn't fix the problem. You just got some mind control about, you know what? It's Mike McCarthy. He's won everywhere else. He'll win with us. Never mind that he might be gone in 3 years or something like that. Nah, man. I want my own coach, man. I don't want no Dallas leftovers. I don't want no Green Bay leftovers. Even though Halfley is on the list too, and Halfley's a DC from Green Bay, but that's different. That's different. You know what it is. Shout out to JDJ in the building. Says this miserable season finally coming to an end. I'll miss watching Dart play, but not much else. I'm anxious to see who our next coach is and how that press conference goes. I know this though, man. I've been a little bit gullible with the press conferences, right? Because a lot of these guys say exactly what you want to hear, and us being as bad as we've been for so long, as soon as we start to hear some of the stuff that we want to hear, we're like, yeah, we get reeled in, we get hyped. I don't know, there's something about this year, man. Something about this year, going through what we went through this year. It took a lot of that optimism out of me. And again, I go through the same cycle every year. As long as the New York Giants are bad, I go through the same cycle. By the time the season is over, I'm ready to burn everything down to the ground. Period. What's it, Daniel? Daniel says, "Big Dash, you want no part of Flores as a Dolphin fan. I lived the Brian Florence experience. I'm warning you guys is what I believe he's saying. He turned you guys around, though, man. He turned you guys around. You guys were competitive in the division. You guys had a winning record for like the first time in a long time under Brian Flores. But also him getting fired, that got to be a little bit humbling. Him going from a head coach to being a positional coach in Pittsburgh and being under Mike Tomlin for that long, and then going to the Vikings, and it's a humbling experience. And hopefully he learned from it. I know a lot of the cons with Brian Flores. Control freak, not the best player coach as far as relationships. He coaches his players hard, but when you think about what the New York Giants need, it's been a country club for so long. We haven't had strict leadership at the head coaching position since Tomlin. I'm sorry, since Coughlin. And it's just like I'm ready. I'm ready for that. Let's see. Stacy says, I hope the coach that Mara really wants says he's not coming unless JS is fired. That's another thing, man. That's another thing. We saw. Oh man, you should have seen the arguments I got into this week about Marcus Freeman. Obviously, when Marcus Freeman said he was going back to college, people was like, he was a bad idea anyway. We should never. And I'm sitting here like, he didn't want to come to the Giants. There has to be a reason for that outside of just possibly money. Now, I will say this though, when those college coaches, as much control as those guys have, as much money as those guys make, I don't blame him for not leaving. But we already know if he's one of those coaches that are hungry to be successful at the highest level, maybe it wasn't his right time now, but who knows in a couple of years what he might do. It's a hell of a buyout, though. Hell of a buyout. Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. He's the Alabama OC. I told you, it went right over my head. Of course he is. I'm bugging. I am bugging. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm bugging. Yo, somebody tell me the score too, man. I try to get my phone on here. My wife just texted me. So I guess Seattle must be up. When I left, it was like what? It was 7-0. I'm sorry. 14-0. I think it was 14-0. It might be 7-0, but it is what it is. But let me know what the score is, man. Somebody, please. Yeah, time on the slip. Yeah, it is what it is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to my man Jay Lay in the building. Says, man, these Giants kill me every year. Shaking my head, happy. I'm from Oregon and still have the Ducks to root for. Sorry about Bama. Um, the tide has finally receded. Roll tide. Tide roll, man. Yeah, man. Listen, that was a whooping. 38-3. Ugly. Ugly. No offense, Jay Lay, but it's either gonna be Miami, Indiana. I think it's gonna be Miami, Indiana. Um, I like Ole Miss. Ole Miss. I'm so Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambers put the world on notice. This week, a lot of people that have been following him all this season. First year at Ole Miss, was at Ferris State. Before that, we knew who he was. We've been talking about him all season, and then the world got a chance to see him on one of the biggest stages. So salute to Trinidad Chambers. He was trying to get extra eligibility, but I hope his people are talking to him. If he plays another good game, even if they lose this next game, if he plays well, he might as well declare for the draft. I think that funny thing, Jaylee, let me know. Because Dante Moore did not have the best performance, right? Do you think he goes back, or does he declare? Let me know, Jaylee. Let me know. Anybody, let me know what you guys think. 10-0 Seahawks. Okay. 10-0. So it was 7-0 when I left. Was it Zach Charbonnet scored the touchdown? I think it was. I might be wrong though. I might be wrong. Patrick Grove just says, "Wow, Ole Miss, Oregon, watch you." That's what you think, huh? Ole Miss, Oregon. Oh, it's gonna take a lot to beat Indiana, dog. I'm sorry. Just a well coached team all around, discipline. Shout out to Kurt Signetti. Mosley 2.0 says, "Big Jersey Giants have crushed me again. This is the first season. I think I'm glad it's over. This is the first. Come on, man. The last couple of seasons, you couldn't wait for it to be over, man. And the funny thing is, I'm actually like Jackson Dart makes the weeks entertaining. And it's been a long time since we've been at least entertaining, but at least we got that, man. Entertaining at least." Bookend Tackle says that Indiana defense is no joke. Now, that's a fact, man. We're going to get into these talking points, so hold on just a moment. Let me go ahead and switch my screen. Let me go minimize that. Let me go ahead and take this off the screen right now so we can see everything clear. Give me just a moment. All right. Coaching candidates. The list came out. This is per Jordan Renan. Let me get my handy dandy notebook. So Jordan Renan stunned everybody with the early release of the list of candidates for the New York Giants. Some names were surprising, some names weren't. For me, again, I've been doing a lot of research for coaches, so I wasn't surprised by any of the names on the list. But yeah, we're gonna get into this. Patrick Groves is looking for a new coach is is fun. Okay. Remy says, I honestly like Joe Brady. I don't like Joe Brady, man. I don't like Joe Brady. I don't trust after this experience, I don't trust anything coming out of Buffalo right now. And it's not Joe Brady's fault. That's a me problem. But I don't trust anything coming out of Buffalo right now. At all. Said my dogs. Yeah. Yep. My man marched right down the field. Stacy says, honestly, what head coach is going to trust Joe Shane after what he's done to the Giants? Now that's where we can start, right? We can start right there. How much do you think Joe Shane affects the coaching search? They'll tell you that it doesn't matter at all. Joe Shane tells you that there's no shortage of candidates. You see them put out the list, but this is their list of people that they want to either interview or reach out to or touch bases with. This is their list. We don't know if any of these guys are turning some of the interviews down or because it's Joe Shane. I wouldn't be surprised because as a head coach, especially some of these first-time head coaches, man, you don't want to come into a job and have the pressure of, well, you know what? The GM might not be here after 1 year. And then, it's a whole new connection that I got to make. Or you would say that I don't want to work with somebody as I'm building up this team because The new head coach gets a clean slate, right? But Joe Shane does not get a clean slate. So if the team does not perform, and well, let's say we keep Joe Shane, the team does not perform even under this new head coach, or it's not going as we want it to go, that throws Joe Shane right back on the hot seat if he never left the hot seat. And I think no matter what happens, Joe Shane is going to be on the hot seat and he's going to be operating that way. Every decision he makes is going to be out of fear, whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft, player selections, who you add to the team. He's going to be coaching not coaching, he's going to be managing for his job. And for me, I'm sitting here like, you just clean house so you can avoid all of that. You just start fresh. I don't know what the Maras are afraid of with Joe Shane. I don't know. Does he have them? Does he know where the bodies are buried? You know how the famous saying, does he know where the bodies are buried? And I'm just sitting here like, man, I don't care what they say to me. I can't trust Joe Shane, man. I can't. I did it last year. I wanted him going last year. He came back and I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just put my faith in the Giants again. And you see what happened. Fell on my face again. Patrick Groves says Clint Kubiak. I saw that, who was it? Diana Rossini added Clint Kubiak and Robert Saleh to the list of possible candidates for the New York Giants. That came out this morning. Jordan Renan's list came out yesterday. So they did add a couple of names. They did. Stacy says if Joe Shane is retained, he's setting up the new head coach for failure. That's the thing, though, because the head coach is going to have a longer leash. Well, they should have a longer leash than Joe Shane. But again, they're not. There's no way that these guys can see eye to eye because they're going to be in two different places. As far as the regime goes, you're going to have a fifth-year Joe Shane, a first year with a new head coach. And if it's a new head coach, a first-time head coach, it's going to be awkward because he's going to want to do things his way. He's going to want to build this team up his way. And Joe Shane is going to have to trust that this first-time head coach, when he's already on the hot seat, Joe Shane's already on the hot seat, he's going to have to trust this head coach to rebuild this team the way that he sees fit. And it's just like, come on, it's too many variables there. It's too many things where you can mess up, and it's too much pressure. And also, the head coach doesn't deserve that. Whoever the next head coach is deserves a fully clean slate. It should be brand new, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Christopher Foster says, breaking news, Gronk is intending to come out of retirement next season to attempt a comeback per my inside sources. Good luck, Gronk, on your return. Per my inside sources. Everybody got sources, right? Even my man Christopher got sources. He just told everybody. So when it happens and Gronkowski comes back, you heard it here first through Christopher Foster. Not through me. Don't point your fingers at me. It's Christopher Foster. That's who it is, not me. Christopher Foster said that. What's going on, Isaac? Said, what up, Dash? There's some great coordinators out there, especially on defense. That's the one thing I liked about the coaching candidates, man. So far the list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 candidates on this list. I did not see Matt Burke's name yet. So Matt Burke actually might he could possibly be a candidate. Why not? One of the best defenses in the league, the Texans, man. And it's in the playoffs, I wouldn't want to be a team playing the Texans in the playoffs. I'll put it that way. But out of that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seven of those candidates on the defensive side. And I want a defensive-minded head coach. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's Jackson Dart. We need for the team, I believe. And again, this is my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I want a defensive-minded head coach. Because when I look at the New York Giants, it's the defense that needs to be fixed. The offense needs to be groomed and developed. The defense needs to be completely fixed. That's the difference for me. And whatever coordinator comes in here, whatever head coach comes in here, like whoever the head coach is, very, very important. But whoever these coordinators are too, the coordinators might be just as important as the head coach. Just as important as the head coach. Shout out to my man Phil. Says he says D'Amico turned the defensive play call to Burke. Oh yeah. When they started 0-3, best defense since. Also worked with Charlie Bullen. Go ahead, man. Spill the beans. We already know. Who the defense happens to be responding to. 20 plus years of coaching. Yeah, Bullen was with Burke in Miami. He worked under the staff with Burke in Miami, so he does have that connection with Burke. He also has a connection with Vance Joseph too. I believe Vance Joseph was in Arizona, a part of the Cliff Kingsbury staff, I believe. That's when Charlie Bullen was with Vance Joseph. So Charlie Bullen has some connections, man. And that first week Charlie Bullen took over. Defense looked horrible. And I was sitting here like, man, this guy actually might be worse than Bowen. And then the last 2 weeks, once he got Abdul going, and then you saw him, I don't know what the stunts, the twists, the blitz, the aggressiveness, everything we've been asking for the last couple of weeks. I understand that it was the Raiders. I understand, but the stunts worked. Tomorrow we play Dallas. I believe Dallas is playing their starters too. So I'm curious to see how he looks. But we talk about Carmen Bracillo. I'm jumping around a little bit right now because I'm talking about the coaching staff. I think everybody feels like Carmen Bracillo deserves to be back no matter who the head coach is for the New York Giants as an offensive line. Obviously, it's up to whoever that head coach is, but I would love to see Carmen Bracillo be here, right, next year to continue to groom this offensive line. Whatever that looks like, because we got some people that might be leaving, some people that might be walking in free agency, but I like what Carmen Bracillo was able to do. Charlie Bullen, right? So Charlie Bullen being the interim defensive coordinator, I don't think it would be an issue to try to keep him on staff, as a positional coach still. Even if you don't want to give him the defensive coordinator spot, again, these coaches are going to have free range. They should be able to hire whoever they want to hire. This is not a Joe Judge situation where they force, Garrett on Joe Judge or something like that. This head coach should be able to walk into 1925 Giants Drive and say, no, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to hire. This is my team. Sit back, relax. Let me do my thing. That's what I think should happen. Shout out to my man Chris, says with the $5 super chat. He says, Happy New Year, Big Dash. He says, who do you personally want to be the next Giant head coach? So you already know what it is. It's Brian Flores, but I understand it's not too real of a situation, right? So after that, man, for me, it's Chris Shula. After that, it's Chris Shula. After that, and so we might as well get into the next segment. It's Chris Shula after that, and we're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna talk about it. Let me get some more of these comments. Phil says I would absolutely take Vance too. Yeah. I like Vance. A lot of people don't like Vance, man. Yeah. Patrick Grove says yes to Carmen. That's a fact. Patrick says I think Charlie Bullen is pretty good coach. Period. Yeah. Remy says I say Kafka ain't scared to fire someone. Yeah. Well, at least he showed that, man. He showed that. He said cut the Kafka talk. He is barbecue chicken. We seen the hard. Yeah. It's cringy. It's cringy for sure. But let me go ahead and throw this up here, man. I'm gonna talk about some of these. I highlighted 3 coaching candidates that I want to talk about tonight with you guys, man. We can have a discussion, right? And despite what I want, he's a very, very popular option for the New York Giants, and I understand why. I do understand why. But let me go ahead. Where's my graphic at? Let me find my graphic. I'm going to talk about Mike McCarthy first. That's what I'm going to talk about first. Is Mike McCarthy. We're going to talk about Mike McCarthy. And I want to see by a show of hands, or just say yes or no. Mike McCarthy, would you be upset, or just with yes or no for Mike McCarthy? Yes or no in the comment section. While I get through the next super chat and some comments. Vaporizer says, happy New Year, Dash. I've got to say, from all the coaching news, this is going to be the most intriguing and crucial offseason this team will have to get right in every aspect. Let's just hope. Hope. They might have stomped out the hope, man. Giants might have stomped out the hope. Coach Ward with the $5 super chat. What's going on, Coach Ward? He says, I'm burnt out, bro. This offseason routine getting old, fam. They need to get this figured out. Shane, since he is staying, needs to tighten up, man. Listen, I'm holding on to faith. I'm holding on to faith. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm fighting the good fight when it comes to trying to get Joe Shane out of here. I am fighting the good fight. But we'll see what happens. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. I got a small corner in YouTube. Maybe they see it, maybe they don't. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. He said Mike never. Okay, let's talk about Mike McCarthy. And I see the comment section. I see what you guys are saying. Look, and it's split. You got Bean says Mike's my guy, stable, safe. Phil says boo. Bean says yes. Mike says yes. Patrick says yes. Isaac says no, hell no. Joe says Mike never. Tony Owen says yes. You see it, man. It's split. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk. And I appreciate the comments, man. We got some things to talk about. We got 2 more candidates to take a little bit of a deeper dive into. So you see, the first thing on the list that I put was experience. There's no doubt in my mind Mike McCarthy has the experience that makes organizations comfortable with hiring. To somebody's point, a lot of people keep saying it. Safe. Mike McCarthy is absolutely a safe pick, but what does that mean? Because I've seen what Mike McCarthy can do with an all-time quarterback in Aaron Rodgers in a weak division, the NFC North at that time where they were so dominant in the NFC North. It was weak then. Detroit was trash. You know what I mean? The Bears were hit and miss. Bears defense was good during that time. But but his experience, that's a check mark, right? That is a check mark. I see you guys keep going, hell no, nope. Yeah. Shout out to Big Moo in the building. Said, hey, Big Dash, finally checking in. What's going on, Big Moo? How you doing, man? It's almost over, Big Moo. It's almost over. Leadership. He's shown that he can be a good leader. He's led these teams to winning records. Everybody's first argument is he took 3 straight seasons with Dallas where he had 12 wins. Leadership is there. I understand. He's a winner, proven winner. We see it. We understand. We understand. TP, shout out to my man TP Way in the building. Says, I'm not going to hold you, Dash. I'm sold on McCarthy right now. A lot of people are. And another seller is he's an offensive mind. And right now, everybody is in love with Jackson Dart, me included. The development of Jackson Dart is very, very high on the priority list, of course. And when you have somebody like Mike McCarthy, his quarterbacks have been, as long as he's been a head coach, his quarterbacks have been Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. Now, he was there for Aaron Rodgers, right? He was there for Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers was Aaron Rodgers. And then Dak Prescott was already Dak Prescott when Mike McCarthy got there. The offensive, though, they numbers for days. Green Bay, numbers for days. Aaron Rodgers, MVPs and all that stuff under McCarthy, right? But the thing for me when it comes to McCarthy, he feels like a rental. He feels like a rental. And also another argument that people have as New York Giants fans, a lot of us are also New York Knicks fans. And the whole Tom Thibodeau thing, it pisses me off that people use Tom Thibodeau. And it doesn't piss me off because I think they're wrong. It pisses me off because I kind of think it's right. It's like spot on. It's like spot on. But also, when you get Mike McCarthy, you're kind of already thinking about who's going to be the guy after Mike McCarthy. Let me get to some of these comments. So that's my thoughts, man. He doesn't seem like he's going to be the guy here for 10 years. He's not going to be here, for the long haul with Jackson Dart and whatever this team looks like. And that's one of my main issues with McCarthy. I have to give him credit for all of the accolades. He has all of those accolades. But that's just how I feel about it, man. That's how I feel about it. I got to go back because you guys been lighting up the chat. KC says Jason Garrett 2.0. Come on, man. Talk about it. Talk about it. Mike says Mike McCarthy will bring discipline and culture to the Giants. He would be our verse. There you go. You see it. Tom Thibodeau. Shout out to Fireside Giants, man. Shout out to Anthony Rivardo, man. Me and Anthony been going back and forth on this for a little bit, man. Been chasing him around in the comment section too. Shout out to the Giants Collective too, because I was all in that chat, speaking my piece about Mike McCarthy. But man, I understand. Well, what Joe Shane said, I understand the question. I understand Mike McCarthy. I understand. Chris says, hell to the no. Patrick Grove says Mike McCarthy has a hell of a pitch to the. That's a fact. Yeah, he'll be able to sell himself. I think he's already sold, man. It's I'll say this about the list that we saw. Again, that list is Mike McCarthy, Chris Shula, Antonio Pierce, Mike Kafka, Jeff Halfley, Lou Anarumo, Vance Joseph, Jesse Minter, Robert Saleh, and Clint Kubiak were added today by Diana Rossini. Matt Burke, I have not seen Matt Burke on the list yet, but to me, I think he deserves an interview as well. But man, Mike McCarthy. If Mike McCarthy was to get the job, I would shut up. I would shut up and let him go to work and give him the opportunity that I would give any head coach, whoever that person might be, going into the 2026 season. I'll say that. Now, let me get to some of these comments before we go to the next person, though. And then continue to let me know more about this Mike McCarthy stuff, man. Did he coach Favre? Yeah, he did. Well, Favre won the Super Bowl with Hogan. Favre, Rodgers, and Dak. Absolutely. Because, again, when Eli went on his run, he beat Favre the first time around in 2007. Yeah. So he's been dealing with Hall of Fame quarterbacks and Dak Prescott. And the book's not closed on Dak Prescott yet. Regular season warrior, postseason, we already know what it is when it comes to Dak. Respect my opponents, but Favre, Rodgers, and Dak, talented teams. That's Mike McCarthy. Was Mike McCarthy a passenger in Green Bay? Was he a passenger in Green Bay? Was he a passenger in Dallas? Because as soon as Dan Quinn left, what happened? As soon as the defense went out the door, Dallas went down. McCarthy got canned. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me know, man. Let me know. Keep going though. My man Jacob still says, Dash, I think you mentioned this in past videos. If he brings in a good offensive coordinator after the rental is up, he could possibly take over. Yeah, that's one of the kudos I gave. Now, it was a backhanded compliment that I gave Mike McCarthy. That was a couple lives ago, man. I might have said it in one of the videos too. I said one thing he does is hire good coordinators, and that way, when he gets fired, maybe they can step up. That's 100%. He did it with what's his name? He did it with Schottenheimer, right? He did it with Schottenheimer. So it is. Was LaFleur on the staff? Was LaFleur on the Green Bay staff when Mike McCarthy was there? Somebody look that up. Was he? I can't remember now. Q Burrow diplomat in the building. What's going on, man? He said they put out this mid list to gain more approval for McCarthy because I don't like McCarthy, but he does look good next to the candidates. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you brought this up about putting out lists, putting out the feelers, to see or to check the temperature of the room of the fan base. And I've been preaching this for a week right now. Longer than that, but definitely this week. A couple of shorts I put out, a lot of posts on Twitter talking about the New York Giants using beat writers to put the feelers out. And we saw with the Joe Shane thing earlier this week with Paul Schwartz talking about the record of GMs getting a second chance with a second head coach proves to have worked out before. And somebody just said something very simple. They said Dave Gettleman. Shut down the whole article with one name, Dave Gettleman, a GM, hired two coaches. I'm sorry, he didn't hire two coaches, but he fired Ben McAdoo and then hired Pat Shermer. Actually, no, and then he hired Joe Judge. Two coaches. Two coaches. Dave Gettleman. It kills me how you don't even have to go far to find a reference of why this wouldn't work. Your own team history tells you that it's not going to work. Your own team history. We talk about in the last 5 to 6 years, your own history has shown you that you probably shouldn't do this again. You probably shouldn't do this again, Giants. You probably should just start from scratch. You gave these guys 4 seasons. You gave this GM 4 seasons, and you're thinking about giving them a 5th. It feels like Joe Shane is like the new Daniel Jones. I say that respectfully. Like Daniel Jones, it was a roller coaster with Daniel Jones. Rookie year, like he might be something, and then he was horrible. Then Brian Dable comes and we go to the playoffs and give him a lot of money. Then it was horrible. Then it's gone. Look at Joe Shane. Joe Shane got here first season, 2022 playoffs. He took whatever plan he had when he first got here, ripped it up, threw it in the trash. When Joe Shane first got here, he decided the first 2 things he did outside of hiring Brian Dable. I'm picking up the 5th-year option on Dexter Lawrence. And at the time, Dexter wasn't even Dexter yet. Remember that. Some people got short memories. Before Wink got here, Dexter was just okay. Okay, maybe he got some promise. We'll see what happens. And then under Wink, he, took it to the moon. And then the other thing that he did was he did not pick up the 5th-year option on Daniel Jones. And at the time, everybody said, oh, he knows exactly what he's doing. You got Daniel Jones for 1 year, you get rid of him. Next year, we'll be drafting a quarterback. And then 2022 happened. Giants go to the playoffs. Daniel Jones has a solid season. Saquon Barkley, fantastic year. Fool's gold. And the rest is history after that. So we got to stop this, man. We got to stop this. We got off subject a little bit. I'm behind on the comments, so let me get back to where I was. What's going on, Corinne Rock? He said, "What's good, Dash? What's going on, man? How you been? Happy New Year to you." Isaac says Mike McCarthy already a made man, but not our made man. I want someone who will become made with us. That's a good analogy. I like that. Bean report says Mike will be salivating at the mouth to play Dallas next season. So a lot of you guys are sold on it, man. A lot of you guys are sold on it. I want to talk about another candidate now, right? We're going to move on a little bit. Actually, before I do it, let me get to some of these comments. Let's try to wrap up the Mike McCarthy talk for a second. Bean says we should not go first-time head coach again. Just think about Mike McCarthy. When he was successful in Green Bay, he was a first-time head coach. Harbaugh, Shanahan, the other Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, Sean McVay, all first-time head coaches, still with their teams, respectfully. It's not about throwing that label of first-time head coach, so automatically there might be some issues and some reservations. No, it's about getting the right person. I understand how safe Mike McCarthy is, but just think about who you might be turning down for Mike McCarthy. That's how I like to think about it. We're so fast to jump on what's safe when you might be missing out on something that's great. Great. And to me, great is better than safe. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. JDJ says the only thing that List is missing is a special teams coach that blows them anyway during the interview process. Blows them away. The special team. I don't know what special teams coach is even out there right now. It's so many people or so many candidates on the defensive coordinator side, the defensive minded candidates. I don't know a special teams guy that could possibly break through. I can't see another Joe Judge situation. The only 2 special team coaches I know that actually made it a special team head coach was John Harbaugh and who was it? John Harbaugh. Who's the other special teams guy? Just drew a blank. But it was John Harbaugh. Who else? And Joe Judge was the other special team guy that became a head coach. One worked and one didn't. One worked and one didn't. All right. Is Brian Flores still a good candidate for? To me, he is, but we'll see what happens. I know something. He's definitely not staying in Minnesota. You should have saw his face. He's definitely not staying in Minnesota. Shout out to Zoe, man. Zoe, the content creator for the Minnesota Vikings. He put out a clip. I think it was on Instagram, and it was it was Brian Flores at the presser. Beat writers asked him the questions about him possibly coming back, and he said everything but I'm coming back. Talking about somebody tap dancing around a question. He was the tap dance kid. He was the Sandman on he was the Sandman challenge. He was dancing around those questions, man. For those that don't know who the Sandman is, Showtime at the Apollo Sandman. That's what I'm talking about. He was dancing around those questions, man. And shout out to the Cosby Show reference too, man. For those that know, challenge. Y'all know what I'm talking about. For some people don't know what I'm talking about, man. If you watch the Cosbys, you understand one of the funniest things ever. I feel bad for the people that didn't grow up with the Cosbys, man. That show was fantastic. I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get to the next coach. So the next person I want to talk about, man, high on a lot of people's list, first time guy, and that's Chris Shula, man. That's Chris Shula. I think he is on that short list of the next possible head coach. That's a fact, Isaac. That's a fact. Yeah, there was listen. When Cliff Huxtable grabbed the chair, and nah, forget it. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Shout out to the 70s, 80s, and some of the 90s babies too that was able to catch some of those reruns. I was fortunate enough to catch them live. 90s babies was fortunate enough to catch the reruns. I don't even know where you can find that show at now. It was banned for a little bit too, man. When Bill was going through what he was going through, they pulled it off there. But it is who watches real TV now anyway? I don't know. I just watch sports. But Chris Shula, right? Chris Shula, TP laughing. Defensive minded head coach. That's the first thing I want to say about Chris Shula. Defensive minded, and he comes from that McVay tree. Now, right now, a lot of the new coaches that are getting jobs come from two different trees: the Shanahan tree and the McVay tree. That's pretty much what everybody's looking for. That the Shanahan tree, the McVay tree, because there's a lot of success. We know that McVay, as young as he is, just the tree this guy has to be as young as he is. You would think he's been coaching for 30 years. As many people that have been plucked off of that tree. McVay tree, also he's innovative, right? The defensive, you see the play calling, you see he's versatile. He also has that roster is pretty damn good too. That defensive front for the Rams is pretty good. And I would say it would be not similar to what we have here, but as far as just some of the names that we have and the talent that we have on the defensive line, when you look at the Rams, very, very talented defensive line. I think for a defensive-minded head coach, when they look at the New York Giants, to my man's point, they got to be salivating on what they can do with this defense. Burns and Carter and Dex. Now, there's some heavy lifting that has to happen, too, as far as the draft free agency, who we're going to get for the second level. Is Bobby Okereke, is he going to be here? Is he going to get restructured? Is he going to get cut? I think Bobby Okereke gets restructured, to be honest. And then I might feel better about the money. But right now, his cap hit is about $14 million. That's way too high for Bobby Okereke, in my opinion. But somebody like Chris Shula can look at the New York Giants and be like, yeah, they can already see how they're going to use the New York Giants differently than definitely more than what Shane Bowen was doing. I was going to say Charlie Bullen, but Charlie Bullen's been, I ain't going to front, man. I understand it's the Raiders, but Charlie Bullen has been drawing up some things that are very, very impressive to me. And the last thing for Chris Shula also is the pedigree, the last name. Grandson of Don Shula. I believe he's the nephew of Mike Shula, and Mike Shula coached with the Giants for a little bit too. He's a Shula. You come from a long line of coaches. His grandfather coached an undefeated season in NFL with the Dolphins, won the Super Bowl, undefeated, still stands to this day. And a long line of coaches. And he might be the next one that can be that possible head coach in the family. Some reservations that I had for him is he's still pretty young. 2 years as a defensive coordinator. I think is it 2 or 3? I think it's 2 years as a defensive coordinator, but he's been coaching under McVay for a very, very long time. He's had some time in Miami before he came over to the Rams. So yeah, man. He's very, very interesting to me. Very interesting to me. Reckless talking about Slayton. He says June 1st cut, Slayton pay $8 million in 2026, $8 million in 2027. I'm still trying to trade him off the bat first. If I can get somebody to take $10 million of that contract off the top, just with a straight trade, I'm probably going that route first. Because in all honesty, I don't think we got enough money to pay Wan'Dale Robinson. And I'm getting sidetracked, but I like the comment talking about Slayton getting cut June 1st, saving a little bit of money, spreading that cap hit out over 2 years. Or 2 seasons, I should say. I like Wan'Dale a lot. The 1,000 yards is 1,000 yards. A lot of people have been pushing the Wan'Dale Robinson agenda. I got one question. Actually, we're gonna shelf the Shula talk just for a second, right? I got a question for you guys, right? Now, hear me out, right? Hear me out. I think that Wan'Dale Robinson is worth the money that he's gonna get, right? Whatever they pay him, if it's another team that outbids the Giants, if the Giants even act like they can afford him, whatever money Wan'Dale Robinson gets, he deserves it, in my opinion. Recently he just crossed 1,000-yard mark for the season, first time for him. Very excited about that for him. My question is this: with a healthy Malik Neighbors, right? Is Wan'Dale Robinson a 1,000-yard wide receiver? With a healthy Malik Neighbors, a lot of us expect us to draft a wide receiver early in the draft. Does Wan'Dale Robinson still have that same impact if Malik Neighbors is on the field? And if that's the case, how much money you want to pay him? Is he replaceable? I understand he's good. I like him. To me, I said this yesterday. To me, I see Wan'Dale Robinson as another Sterling Shepard. Another Sterling Shepard. You want to root for him. A better route runner than people give him credit for. Tough as hell. Shep was tough as hell. Had concussion issues, though. Had injury issues. And you're seeing the same thing with Wan'Dale Robinson a bit. So for me, I'm looking at Wan'Dale Robinson and I'm seeing Sterling Shepard. And it's just like, as far as for the Giants, not saying that he plays like Sterling Shepard, even though it's kind of similar. It's kind of similar to me. Faster than Shep was, though. But I'm like, man. Corky says Wan'Dale catches the ball. Yeah, he does. He does. If I can get rid of that Darius Slayton contract, then yes, I'm absolutely paying Wan'Dale Robinson, because we don't have to pay Malik Neighbors again, no real money to win. 2028, 2029 is when his contract is up. We're going to pick up the 5th-year option most likely if we don't give him a new deal. If he stays healthy, if he, all the stuff with Malik Neighbors that's going on right now, the toe, the shoulder, the back, stuff like that. We understand. But I'm just saying. My man said absolutely not. He said if Bookend says if he was a little bigger, Wan'Dale still did decent with Malik on the field last year. Yes, he did. He got flooded with targets last year too. Now you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But again, we're already paying Slayton $12 million a year. I believe Malik Neighbors, I had my notes here before, a couple pages back. Malik Neighbors, let me see if I still have them here. Malik Neighbors is $7.9 million cap hit. So we talking $12 million for Slayton. 7.9 or just say 8 million for Malik Neighbors, and then you're talking another. The number used to yesterday's price is not today's price when it comes to Wan'Dale Robinson. So he was asking for like 13 and a half. He hit 1,000 yards. We most likely get outbid. You got Patriots got over 100 million. Titans got over 100 million. They need wide receivers. We're probably going to get outbid for Wan'Dale. But I'm just saying, you can't pay Slayton 12 million, Malik 8 million, and Slayton what, like 14, 15? I'm sorry, Wan'Dale 14, 15 million. You can't do that. Can't do that. Bookend says depends on the money. I understand. That's what I'm saying. You can't do it with that kind of money. If you're able to move Slayton and ease some of that cap hit for Slayton, then I'm looking at Wan'Dale like, you know what? Maybe we can make something happen. But I also believe, and I say this respectfully too, because I like Wan'Dale Robinson. Somebody else can come here and get those targets and make those same plays. I hate saying that. I'm just trying to keep it real with y'all right now. I like Wan'Dale. I want to keep Wan'Dale. If Joe Shane wasn't so dumb and lacked the foresight and wasn't so reactive instead of proactive, Wan'Dale Robinson probably signs for like $10 million in July. $10 to $11 million you probably get Wan'Dale Robinson signed for. Maybe. And then with this isn't even an issue. But no, you let the season go by. You let this man catch almost 100 balls, pause, 140 targets again, and 1,000 yards. In the words of Fat Joe, yesterday's price is not today's price. And he might be priced out. And when you see the Titans and you see the Patriots with all that money and the need for wide receivers, Joe Shane and March talking about, I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't. Listen, man, it's a lot of things going on, man, that need to happen. Jalen Naylor, 3-year, 30. Did Naylor got that much? 3-year, 30. I mean, yeah, I guess. Dan says, when you consider how many other guys we have to sign this year, such as Flott, McFadden, and Illuminor, I don't think you prioritize one. I don't think he's a priority. I don't think that. I don't think if we get a new GM and a new, well, we definitely get a new head coach, but I don't think anybody's going to prioritize Wan'Dale Robinson. Nobody's going to prioritize the slot receiver, especially when you got Malik Neighbors on the squad already. When it comes, you mentioned another name, McFadden, right? McFadden for me, with the injury, McFadden, his price, yesterday's price is not today's price for him too, but on the other side, you can get McFadden for dirt cheap right now. I bring McFadden in just off the humble. Just off of what he did, just because he's familiar with the squad, just because I like him. I'm bringing McFadden back, and he's not going to cost you a lot of money. You could probably get McFadden for like $6 million. Like $6 million per, $5 million per possibly. I could see McFadden getting with the injuries. I could see him getting like a 2-year deal, 2 years, 15, and like 8 to 9 guaranteed. I'm telling you, McFadden, and that sucks too, man. He got hurt so early in the season. First drive of the season, McFadden got hurt, man. I thought McFadden, I wanted him to get extended in the summer because I felt like he was going to have a big season this year. Gets injured, he's going to be dirt cheap, man. McFadden becomes an afterthought. Same thing as Bellinger. Like, you ain't got to pay Bellinger a lot of money either if you just want to bring him back too. But I think you got more, like, it depends on who's here and how they feel about Bellinger. I think Bellinger is just the versatility alone, especially last week. Last week, not a lot of catches from Bellinger, but he was a fullback, he was the H-back, he was the tight end, he was blocking his butt off, and you saw the value of having Daniel Bellinger. Mostly healthy. He's going to be cheap too. You should bring him back. But it is what it is, man. I'm not the GM. Oh, man. Hold on. Let me get some of these super chats. I apologize for missing some of the super chats, man. I've been yapping. Freddie Velasquez with the $1.99 super chat. He says, better prospect coming out, Troy P, Ed Reed. So you calling Caleb, Troy Polamalu, and Ed Reed. I'll say this right now. Nobody's Ed Reed. Nobody's Ed Reed. Ed Reed was special. Cue to Vince McMahon. Ed Reed was he was special. Troy Polamalu special too. Caleb, I like Caleb a lot. I still believe he's the best prospect in the draft, blue chipper for sure. I can't put him on the Ed Reed level. I can't put him on the Troy Polamalu level. I do think he's going to be good. I do think he's a day one starter and a day one impact player. I can't call him Ed Reed or Troy Polamalu though. That's high praise, man. That's high praise. Astro Glide $2 super chat just said love. Nah, I appreciate that, Astro. I appreciate that. Prentice with the $2 super chat says, I asked this before. Do you franchise want? Hell no. Hell no. The franchise tag for Wan'Dale it's like $25 million, $24 million for the franchise tag for a wide receiver. Actually, let me Google that right now. Because I want to be right. Because that was a strong. What did I do with my phone just that fast? I'm gonna Google that right now. What the what is franchise tag for wide receivers 2026? Projected franchise tag. Hold on, let me go back to where I was. Oh, where'd it go? Projected franchise tag for a wide receiver in 2026 NFL season is around $28 million. That's according to Over the Cap. Prentice, you want to ask me that question again? $28 million is the franchise tag for a wide receiver in 2026. Yeah, you're not paying Wan'Dale that. Because that's 28 real dollars. 28 million real dollars. There's no cap. That's fully paid. Guaranteed $28 million. Nah. Can't do that. It's 2021. Oh, okay. It's 2021. All right. Isaac said, wow, that's high. Yeah, that's crazy. I wasn't even expecting it to be that high. 28 million? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Nah. 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 Oh, bro. Franchise tag? That's not happening, man. That's not happening. That is not happening. Prentice with the $2 super chat said, hell nah. Yeah. Hell nah. To the nah. We're not doing that, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. You see how we get sidetracked here, man. Shout out to everybody. 1 hour in, 117 people watching right now currently. Make sure you hit that like button. It does wonders for the algorithm. It does wonders for me. And guess what? It's free. It's free at the end of the day. It's support. It's love. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. But Chris Shula, man. Yes or no to Chris Shula. We done got so sidetracked. 100% TP. Remember the Titans. I got trauma when it comes to Remember the Titans, man. Real life trauma when I watch that movie. It brings back bad memories for me. When Remember the Titans came out, I was a senior in high school, right? We had just beat our rivals last game of the regular season. Actually, I'm sorry, for the Watchung Conference Championship. Just beat beat Linden High School. And then we qualified for the state championship, for the state playoffs, and we had to play them again, back to back. And they thought it'd be a good, team activity to go see Remember the Titans. And the whole team went to go see Remember the Titans at Mountainside Theaters in Springfield, New Jersey. Movie was fantastic. Strong side. All we was at practice doing all that stuff, and then lost to the team that we just beat. First round of the playoffs. That's the first time ever in my high school career that we got bounced in the first round of a playoff. Shout out to the Union Fighting Farmers. The pedigree is there. As far as public school, as far as public schools go in New Jersey, because we already know what these Catholic schools be doing. We already know how the Catholic schools be poaching players in New Jersey. Shout out to the Union Fighting Farmers. But we lost to Linden. First round of the playoffs, man. I was pissed off. High levels of festivity. Yeah. Sorry for reminiscing, man. But that's just me. Went on a tangent. Corky says, love Shula. He even looks like his grandfather. Listen, man, the genes are strong, man. All of them look like the grandfather. All of them. The sons, the grandkids, they look like him. The boys and the girls, they all look like Don. Good Lord. Respectfully. Remember the Titans, man. Good, fantastic movie. Remember the Titans, like top 3 sports movie out there. Top 3 for sure. Let me know y'all top 3 sports movies if y'all feel like doing that. Let me know your top 3 sports movies. Astro Glide, $5 super chat says, I like Wandell, but he got those stats because no one else can catch. I don't even know the last wide receiver to have a catch. Slayton 3 yards catch don't count. That's it though, man. It was the Wandell show. You know what I do like about that whole situation though? Going into that game, we knew how many yards Wandell Robinson needed to get to 1,000. Everybody knew that he was trying to get to that 1,000, and he was still able to get there. That means whatever the game plan was, they executed it. I understand it was the Raiders, but they executed the plan. And to your point, there's no other wide receivers really out there catching the ball for us. And he was able to do that when everybody knew they were trying to do that. So I'll give credit when credit is due. For sure. Oh, the next person is that, man. The next person, I got one more person that I'm going to highlight as far as the coaching candidates go. I saw somebody put the name in there. We're going to get to it. The program, Varsity Blues. Yeah, Varsity Blues. Wildcats, huh? Yeah. Remember Unnecessary Roughness? Remember that movie? Unnecessary Roughness probably came out late 80s. Remember that one? I'm not saying that I'm putting that on the list. The program was life-changing for me. Especially being as young as I was to see the program. I might have been in program came out, 92, 93 maybe the program came out? That's before I was even in high school. The program was different. That's and you figure those days I played running back, I played linebacker, especially when I was little. I played a little bit of offensive line when I was little, I ain't gonna lie. Offensive line, defensive line when I was in Pop Warner. But man, that whole holding on to the ball, even when you're in class type deal, can't fumble the ball ever. Yeah. Longest yard, dope there says longest yard. He got game any given Sunday. Can't go wrong with that either. Big Moose says, remember the Titans money ball. Okay. And draft day. You really like draft day that much? I like draft day because of the people that were in it. But it was some BS happening in draft day. The way they got all those picks back and what was this dude's name? Bo, nobody going to his birthday party, doesn't make him a good leader type stuff. It was crazy. Hold on a second, get a message. My wife is funny. Any Given Sunday, love that. Shout out to Lawrence Taylor being in Any Given Sunday too. Friday Night Lights, remember the Titans. I even like Friday Night Lights, the show. The show they had on NBC, Michael B. Jordan. I remember that in season 2. I remember all that, man. I'm old, man. Rookie of the Year. Basketball, yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lot of good ones out there. A lot of good ones. The original longest yard, that was with Burt Reynolds. I remember that too, man. Johnny Be Good, unofficial Jim McMahon story. That's what's up. Corinne says, yes, sir, with the Shula. Okay. All right, man. Well, look how sidetracked we get. We vibing though, man. It's a family reunion for us Giants fans and the one Minnesota Vikings fan. If he's still in the building, shout out to Kev if he's still here. But it's a family reunion, man. We get to talking and the yapping. It's a new year, holidays still. Jerry Maguire is another good one. That's a fact. Gridiron Gang, Brian's song. Hey, does the Sandlot count as a sports movie? Does the Sandlot count as a sports movie? I might be pushing it. I still think as a kid, The Sandlot was probably one of the best movies I ever seen growing up. Sandlot was fire. All right, let's go to the next coach, man. Because we are an hour in. I'm only still on the first talking points, even though we touched on a couple of different things. Hold on a second though. He said, "Got to put the Sandlot on there." Sandlot is a sports movie. Waterboy is the best movie. Come on, Waterboy just was goofy, man. Waterboy was hilarious. Bobby Boucher, yeah. Greg T says, I went to the movies to see Sandlot. The first movie I remember like really seeing in the movie theaters that was like Ninja Turtles in the theaters. That like I remember the experience of being in the movies. I'm pretty sure that wasn't my first movie, but Ninja Turtles, man. If you was an 80s baby, if you was the late 70s baby, when Ninja Turtles came out, you waited years for Ninja Turtles. Like all you had was a cartoon. The first time I saw those live action Ninja. Let me stop, man. It's not. Listen, we I apologize. Let's get to the next coach. I'm over here. Nah, let me stop. Let's stay on point. Let's stay on track. The last coaching candidate that I want to talk about in today's show is Mighty Ducks was another one. Little Giants was fantastic. Yep. I'm not even talking about the. I'm talking about the first Ninja Turtles, the first one. When Raphael got beat up on the roof. When Raphael got beat up on the roof, April O'Neil's apartment, and Raph would get mad and go for walks by himself. He went to the roof, and the foot soldiers showed up. They beat up Raphael so bad he was in a coma. They threw him through the roof. He was in a coma for like 3 days. Remember, they went to the country and put him in a bathtub. It took him 2 days to wake up from that ass whooping. Shout out to Luann. Luann bringing me back to earth. Let me know that this is a Giants show. I want to win tomorrow too. I do want to win tomorrow. I do want to beat Dallas. I want it for Jackson Dart. So let's talk about Jeff Hafley, man. Let me get refocused. I see the chat too, man. We got to stay focused on Giants, man. Maybe I create a separate channel where we can talk about other things that are not football. Maybe I do that. Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. You see the list of things I have here. Defensive-minded head coach. Absolutely. Green Bay has been very, very successful under Hafley. Head coaching experience. He was a head coach in college. Boston College head coach. I think he was a head coach for 2 or 3 seasons. I think it was 2019 to 21, I think it was, that he was a head coach for Boston College. And we already know that the Maras have ties to Boston College. We already know with Tom Coughlin, the whole Boston College thing there too. So he has head coaching experience, but at the collegiate level, not the NFL level, right? Um, when it comes to his defense, one thing about Hafley is he is a schemer. We see it. He his game plans. Rarely do you see him doing a lot of the same things. A lot of his game plans are based on who, of course, who they're going against. But he is a schemer. He plays chess. That's what I like about the defensive coordinator. Also, he makes adjustments. So I like that about a defensive minded head coach, a guy that can make adjustments on the fly. That's one thing that we've been waiting for is adjustments. We saw Wink when Wink was here. Wink used to make halftime adjustments. But Shane Bowen, no adjustments. You know what it is. Remember way back in the day, well, not way back in the day, but Patrick Graham, no adjustments. I hated Patrick Graham. But also he develops talent. Hafley. A lot of those players at Green Bay, homegrown, drafted. Outside of McKinney, of course, thanks to us, and then Micah Parsons. A lot of those players at Green Bay are drafted and developed there. A lot of those guys get new contracts. So to me, Hafley is high on my list. Hafley is high on my list. Again, I want a defensive minded head coach. I saw people putting in Clint Kubiak as a possible candidate because of what he can do with the offense. I'm not against that at all. Just me personally. I think the offense needs to be groomed, but I think the defense needs to be fixed. And I need a head coach that can come here and fix this defense. Also, it depends on who he can bring with him. As an offensive coordinator to help with Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart's going to play a role. It might not be a vocal role in who the coach is going to be, but when the New York Giants are interviewing these head coaches and when they ask these particular candidates, what's your plan for Jackson Dart? They better have a pretty good damn plan for Jackson Dart. They better have an idea of what of who their offensive coordinator is going to be, and how they're going to teach Jackson Dart. So for me, how these guys interview, especially with the first time head coaches or possible coaching candidates, who are your coordinators going to be, and what is the plan for Jackson Dart? I think Jackson Dart is just going to have such a big influence on who the Giants select. And they better have some good plans for that. And with that being said, when it comes to who's going to have the best pitch for Jackson Dart, I'll concede. I'll say that Mike McCarthy is probably going to have the best pitch, to ownership of why he should be here. And the selling point is going to be what he can do with Jackson Dart. Pause. Shout out to my man LRP in the building. Said hello, everyone. Also said what up to me. What's going on, LRP? How you doing, man? How you doing, bro? Stephen Bloom says, who could Hafley bring for offense? That's a good question. I was doing some research with Hafley, right? And again, if you follow me on Twitter, I put out a couple of this week. I think it might have been on Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday. I put out a couple of teasers, just some graphics that I put out, with who could possibly be on the staff with Jeff Hafley. I'm trying to pull up the graphic now. I did one with Mike McCarthy. I did one with Hafley. Did one with Chris Shula. I did a couple of them. So for Hafley, where'd it go? Who would I have with Hafley? Yeah, so I looked at Hafley's just where he's been and some of the coaches that were around him at the same time. One of the offensive coordinators, and again, a lot of people probably is sitting here like, nah, I don't want to do it. Bobby Slowick. He has a connection to Jeff Hafley. Bobby Slowick, he was the offensive coordinator for the Texans. He was there the rookie season for C.J. Stroud. Obviously, he got fired year 2. They moved on from Bobby Slowick because they didn't like the way he was making adjustments or the lack of adjustments he was making. But again, at that time, Bobby Slowick was very, very young still. Since then, he's been working under Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins, and hopefully he's using that time to to develop more so he gets another chance. But that's a possible connection that he could have. As far as somebody that can bring in here for the offense, a guy that has some, um, I guess you could say, played a role in the early development of CJ Stroud that first year. So that's one guess, man. I'm still working on this though. We'll see what happens. Defense, it was Jim O'Neill. He's currently working with the Detroit Lions. He was a defensive coordinator for the Browns when Jeff Hafley worked under. He hired Jeff Hafley when he was a defensive coordinator for the Browns. I believe that was under Mike Pettin. I think Mike Pettin might have been the head coach then for the Browns. But yeah. So that's what I had. It was a Hafley, O'Neill, Slowick, combination that I threw out there. Again, this is just me throwing out some ideas. Not saying that would be his candidates at all. See somebody talking about Cignetti. Cignetti's about to be the king of the Big Ten. He ain't going nowhere anytime soon, I don't think. But he does seem like, to me, Curt Cignetti seems like the type that if Indiana, if that program does succeed and they win the national championship and maybe they repeat next year, see what happens. He seems like the guy that has that type of fire and hunger that will want to take a chance to do it at the next level. And to me, I think Curt Cignetti can be successful. No matter somebody that can be successful with James Madison. Somebody that could be successful with James Madison, and then go to, and that wasn't even his first stop. Where was he at before that? I can't remember where he was at before that, but I know he was at James Madison, and then to be successful at Indiana too. It is what it is, and he brought Elijah Surratt from James Madison. I believe he brought Mendoza from James Madison too. They came along with him to Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Greg T says Cignetti's buyout is only 50. That's right now. He's about to get a new contract. They about to tear up that contract. Somebody let me know what the score is of the game, please. Please. You think he goes to Alabama? I think he goes to the next level. His next stop, I think, is in the NFL. And trust me, he probably makes the most money in college. But he's one of those. He's one of those coaches. To me, it feels like he got that fire that he wants to prove that he can do it at the next level too. And I really think he can. He can coach his ass off, man. Cignetti can coach his ass off, and we'll find out for sure too, man. Because when he's going to get a lot of players drafted from that Indiana team. You got 2 wide receivers that's getting drafted. You got the quarterback that's getting drafted. You got an offensive lineman that's getting drafted. You got a cornerback that's getting drafted in Ponds. You got Aiden Fisher, the linebacker. He's most likely going to get drafted later too. If he comes, I think Aiden Fisher's coming out this year. But when you do something like that, yeah. He said, "Nah, Luann, no, you didn't. What happened? I missed it. What Luann say?" Oh boy. Luann says, Dash, maybe we should think about Mendoza. He is a pocket passer and accurate. Hate to say it, but Dart might not last long. We're gonna leave that alone for today. We're gonna leave that alone, Luann. We're gonna leave that because I already know they're gonna be in the chat going crazy. They're gonna go crazy in the chat for sure. For sure. Astroglide with the $5 super chat says, hold on. Oh no, I saw that one already. My fault. It was Prentice. Prentice came across with the $5 super chat. Says Verse Fisk look like all pros. Imagine what Shula could do with Burns, Tibbs, and Carter. Now that's a fact. That's a fact. That's what I look. I mean, that's what I like so much about the situation with Shula, man. Because he's still young. He's still getting better. He's still in the thick of developing into being a coach. Again, only two seasons as a defensive coordinator, and we're already talking about him getting a chance at being a head coach. That's fast. Some of that has to do with McVay. The McVay tree. We can't be naive to that. But yeah, man. Yeah. I like Shula a lot too, man. He's young. I'm curious who Shula brings with him. They run a 4-3. I mean, they run a even man front. I think they run a 4-2. What they run a 4-2-5? I think they run a 4-2-5 over there with the Rams. I'm trying to think about who their linebackers are right now. I think they run a 4-2-5 there. But they run an even man front, but everything right now is hybrid anyway. Like we have a odd man front, but the last couple of weeks we've been seeing 4-man front out there. Hybrid 4-man front. But that's what we've been seeing. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh man, injury alert on who? Who got hurt? Greg T says Mendoza will be donning the silver and black. Mark your calendar to that day in April. Guess what, man? If we lose and the Raiders somehow beat the Chiefs, I think that's who they played, the Chiefs, right? Then we right back in the mix for the first overall pick. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. Faye says, sounds like a movie villain name, Mendoza. Could be. Could be. Luann says, I love Dart, but Mendoza is bigger and stronger and accurate. Just what we need, a QB that doesn't run. But also, we haven't seen him at the next level. We haven't seen him at the next level. A lot of that stuff look cool, man. But me being an Alabama fan, I've seen enough pocket passers that look good in college. Like Greg McElroy is one of them. Who's the guy that went to Cincinnati Bengals? Sheesh, I'm drawing a blank. What's his name? Mick something, whatever. He went to Cincinnati. He was a pocket passer, had all the accolades too. It is I'm cool with Dart. Dart got the swag for the city. The only thing about Dart that I don't like is he got the happiest feet in the world. The happiest feet in the world, and sometimes the ball is all over the place because he doesn't stand and deliver. That's the only issue. AJ McCarron, thank you. Just those guys, AJ McCarron and Greg McElroy, those guys back to back came out. Those were stand in the pocket passers. Good numbers at Alabama. Came out and they was trash. Neither one of those guys was touching Mendoza though, as far as the prospect coming out of college. I will accept that. But no, Dart got the it factor. Dart got the it factor. I understand we don't like him running, but guess what? Last week he kept himself pretty safe, except for that touchdown run where he got hit. He got hit pretty hard. It wasn't a helmet to helmet shot. It was a shoulder to the helmet shot. He got the super big chin strap now, which is crazy because that big ass chin strap didn't hold that helmet on his head. So they need to figure out what's going on with his helmet. But it's him, and he got to develop, and it's all about who they bring in here. It's all about who they bring in here. I'm super loud in the mic right now. My apologies if somebody got headphones on and I just peeked. Pause. Shout out to that dark friend, member for 8 months. I appreciate the love and support, man. Big Dash, #1 stop for Giants content, like and sub. Now I appreciate the love and support, man. That dark friend of day one guy too. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the support, man. In the 8-month membership. Mr. Do It Nice. I got a question. I'm scared to ask it though. He says, how is it that we need a quarterback that doesn't run when the dual threat guys are winning Super Bowls? Listen. Luann done stirred you guys up. Luann likes what she likes. She likes the pocket passer. She likes the Eli Manning prototype. We won Super Bowls with Eli Manning. I'm not going to knock her for that. I will say that. That's why I left it alone. I left it alone for a little bit. I like Dart. I like what Dart brings to the table. In a city known for the bright lights, and the style and the swag and whatever you want to call it, the cachet. I like Jackson Dart for this city. The flashiness, all that, all that. JDJ says can't wait to see Dart after a full off season of working on his technique and his body. He needs to come back jack like DJ did. Listen. I do agree with that. He definitely needs to go find a quarterback coach. If he got to go to the what's the two brothers, the free Carson what the hell's his name? He was a quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, and then his brother's a quarterback coach. I can't remember his last name right now. There's so many doggone people. But he definitely needs to get with a quarterback coach, work on his mechanics. Palmer, yeah, Carlson Palmer, yep, and his brother, yep, that's a fact. Thank you. Shout out to Hurst for real. Your guys always save me when I get stuck, man. I appreciate the love and support. That's real love right there. Because y'all could have left me hanging. Pause. But y'all right there to help me out. Pause. Yeah, Carson Palmer. I got the first name. Can't remember his bum ass brother's first name though. But they played together in Cincinnati for a little bit too. Yeah, Palmer. Thank you very much. He got to find somebody to come coach those mechanics. Because that's the problem. When we see a couple of those balls sail on them, the overthrows and stuff like that, the balls are a little bit high. That's all footwork. You go back, Jordan Palmer. Thank you. You go back and look at him at the throw and what his feet were doing, and he's like jumping, he's fading, and it's just like, and then when you see him stand and deliver, the accuracy is there. So we know he can do it. It's just sometimes the consistency isn't there in the mechanics. So he can't get that good drive on the ball. Like when he missed that pass to Wandell, the deep throw, the game before last, up the seam, and that ball sailed on him, gave the cornerback enough time to catch up and break up the pass. If he gets his feet set and he throws that ball and takes some air off it, that's a touchdown to Wandell. That was the Commanders game. That's a touchdown to Wandell. Or was that the Vikings game? I think it was the Commanders game. That's a touchdown. So it is what it is. Did they score again or something? Said Sam Darnold was balling tonight. Listen. Sam Darnold is the ultimate catfish. He gets you to believing that he is something, and then he get to a game and just like, oh no, that's still Sam Darnold. That's what he is to me. Sam Darnold, you watch him and you fool yourself. You forget that you're watching Sam Darnold. You're like, damn, Sam Darnold is good. And then when Sam Darnold do something that looked like the old Sam Darnold, you're like, yeah, this is why. This is why Sam Darnold only made what he made with the Seahawks. This is why he's not making $40 million a year. And then you see him, and again, I'm not watching the game because I don't know what's going on. I couldn't get my app to work so I can watch the doggone game and talk to you guys at the same time. But Sam Darnold, and I catch it every time. I'm sitting there like, Sam Darnold's good. Like, what? And then you see the game when he sees Ghost, you're like, oh yeah, that's the Sam Darnold I know. Bookend says he has a mustache now. Now he got a whole beard. I saw him when they sung the national anthem. He got a whole beard and everything, full hairline and beard, out there doing his thing. Shout out to Sam Darnold though. What's going on with Purdy though? Purdy ain't showing up. That San Francisco team so damn injured though. Dealing with so many injuries. So like it's just so long that you can fight through all those injuries, man. Now we're getting into the playoffs. This is the real deal. Shout out to Shanahan though, man. Shanahan need to be the coach of the year. He does. Phil says if we started Dart, we're fully healthy and finished fourth quarters this year, we'd be in the playoffs for sure. Especially with the way that the Eagles look, especially now. We'd been fighting for the division most likely if we started Dart and then actually had a defensive coordinator that can coach in the fourth quarter. Purdy he threw a pick in the red zone. Good Lord. Purdy ain't dancing tonight. It's crazy. It's been Seattle's defense tonight. Yeah. Let me get back. Let me get back to where we're supposed to be, man. We went so far off topic. We're gonna run through these, man, because we talked about coaching candidates and all this other stuff for that long, man. You see, I still got some talking points. I'm gonna get through these really quickly, right? Because we got to wrap this up in like the next 20 minutes or something like that, right? Hit that 2-hour mark. So obviously we got the news. Joe Shane most likely will be staying. That's where everything's pointing to that, right? Joe Shane staying. I already had a short rant earlier tonight about Joe Shane, and to me, it just does not make sense. But when was the last time that the New York Giants made sense? This is absolute insanity that we're going to bring this guy back. Even when they said that we'll bring him back, he's going to be in charge of the coaching search, and now they're talking about him being here through the draft. And what does that mean? Are you going to fire him after the draft? And if that's the case, even just stupid to do that too. But Black Monday is Monday. I don't believe that decision is going to be made. Like a lot of people, like, yeah, if Monday gets here, let's keep an eye on, see if Joe Shane gets fired. No, I think they're gonna ride this for a little bit longer. And for us as fans, we got to put the pressure on. We got to put the pressure on. And keep letting the Giants organization know that we're not happy with the decision that they're trying to make as far as keeping things the same. Because when you keep things the same, what hope does that give the fan base? None. None at all. None at all. Greg T says Shane is going Monday by high noon. From your mouth to God's ears. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is it Don Holstrom? Shout out to Don Holstrom. He says, will we take a Bud Grant type coach? Took the Vikings to 4 Super Bowls, I think maybe with 4 different quarterbacks, but never won. And the Vikings have never been back. To me, that's Mike McCarthy. You're out there battling, you're winning games, regular season monsters, then you get to the playoffs. At least Bud Grant got to those Super Bowls. I don't know if Mike McCarthy got another Super Bowl in him. Don't know. Said no Fran Tarkenton was Bud Grant quarterback. Dang, Seattle missed oh boy, they missed a chip field goal kicker letting damn, is the score still what? Is it still 13 or something? Or what's the score now? Let's see. Greg T said playoffs. We talking about playoffs? I'm just trying to win a game. Next thing, players leaving. Again, we lack foresight as an organization. We're more reactive than proactive. And then I think a lot of people need to realize that a lot of players that we like possibly won't be here. Whole right side of the offensive line might be gone. Greg Van Roten might retire. Jermaine Illuminor might not be able to afford him. Maybe somebody else, pays him more for his services. Cordell Flott, depending on the money, he might be going. Wandell Robinson might be going. Micah McFadden. These guys might be going. Certain things that we got to deal with. And then whoever the GM is, whoever the head coach is, they need to identify who they can bring in, because as these guys leave, we got to find replacements. And luckily enough for us, the free agency is before the draft. Imagine if the draft was before free agency. That'd probably be fantastic if the draft was before free agency. But it is what it is. We gotta come to the point where this team is going to look a lot different. And in some ways it's exciting that you're going to have a lot of new faces on the team. And again, what we need is change. So it might be a good thing. But I don't know how you guys feel about that. Certain players just might be gone. I want Illuminor back. I want McFadden back. I want Bellinger back. Dane Belton's another one that might be going, and that you might say is just Dane Belton, but that's good safety depth. And the way that Newman's been playing, Newman is looking more like a depth guy than a starter. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens when we get to that point. But yeah, got to get ready for some of these players not to return, man, and that sucks because we're not getting anything for them. If you weren't going to sign Mondale, you should have traded him. Even though the compensation was a lot less than where you drafted him, you should have tried to move on from Tate Banks, even though he might be the kick returner of the future for the New York Giants. But yeah, man, I don't know. And we got through a lot of these points already. Dart versus Dallas. How many of you guys still want to tank tomorrow, man? I'm gonna ask you guys that question. How many of you guys still want to tank tomorrow? How many of you guys want to see if there's a chance that the Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and the New York Giants still got a chance to get number one, or you're just happy with picking second overall if we lose? Let me know who out here still wants to lose tomorrow. Who's still with the tank? Let me know. Let me know. Q Burrow says Salah not horrible. He's like a poor man's Dan Campbell. I like Salah. The only thing that gives me reservations for Sarah is New York. Because we saw him fail with the Jets, I think they pulled the trigger on him a little bit too soon. Because they were actually still in the playoff hunt when he got fired. But it's the Jets, and the Jets do a lot of things awfully. But the first time we lose a couple of games, people are gonna say that's the Salah from the Jets. I don't think he gets a fair shake here. That's my only reservation for Salah. I think the personality fits. Him being defensive minded fits. Him being in New York before fits. His offense was horrible. He didn't have a quarterback. They got Aaron Rodgers, right before he got canned. So, just didn't get a fair shake because when he was coaching, that defense was fire. So I like Robert Saleh. I wouldn't be mad if we actually got Robert Saleh. I just know how this fan base will treat him if we go on a two-loss skid, 3-loss skid. They're gonna be ready to jump ship when it comes to Saleh. 13-3. Thank you. What quarter are they in? It got to be the fourth quarter. What time is it? How much time left in the fourth quarter? The 49ers ran out of time. Giant Yankee 857 says, do you think a good coach won't come here because of Shane? I do think that it plays a role, but it just depends. If you got there's 32 of these jobs in the entire world, being a head coach of a football team, of an NFL team. There's only 32 of those, man. So you would have to be a coach with a lot of cachet to sit here and say, you know what, I'm not coming here because Joe Shane's here. Some of these people, they might look at this Giants job as their last chance or their first chance to be, like, if it's McCarthy, he might look at the job like, this is my last chance of being a head coach again. When you look at somebody like Hafley, he might be saying, well, this might be my only chance of being a head coach. So I do think it plays a role. For the sake of me being a Giants fan, I hope it doesn't. But of course, I want Shane gone, though. I do want Shane gone. My bad, I didn't even put your comment up there. I thought I clicked on your comment so it can show. Stephen Bloom says Illuminor is the only one I'm concerned about. The rest are replaceable. I can agree with that. For the Dart Doubters. All right, here we go. So we said, let me see. Greg T says Bellinger production is on a lower tier. Yeah, he's a tight end too. He's a tight end too, but for the New York Giants, he's a tight end 1. But he's a tight end. He's a solid tight end 2 in my opinion. I am says no. LRP says no. He ain't with the tank. Stephen Bloom put an emoji of a tank top. Tank. Says I want to finish the season with a win. Corinne says no. My son is in there spazzing right now watching this game. JDJ says I want this win more than Theo Johnson wants to feel better. That's funny because he was that's another thing. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. And then Ian says go into next year with a dub. Luann, I already know Luann. No tanking. I already know. American cheese. Shout out to American cheese, man. He says tank. Simple and plain, tank. Will Collectors Lounge says no tanking. Isaac says I don't think we have to tank. That's true. That's very true. Sometimes we're just bad. I think we can beat the Cowboys, to be honest. I think these guys are gonna be playing for each other, even though that injury, no Wandell. That list is long, actually. You got no Wandell. So we running out there with Slayton. It's gonna be Slayton, Hyatt, and Hodgins. Yeah. Here's a question. Does Hyatt get a touchdown? Does Hyatt get a touchdown? He got he got to play tomorrow. By default, he got to play tomorrow. Does Hyatt get a touchdown tomorrow? Does he do it in front of Dallas, that same Dallas coach that told him he couldn't run routes? Does that happen tomorrow? I don't know, man. I don't know. Hold on. Oh, Brock Purdy got hurt, huh? Man, Manuel says, I want to win tomorrow. Damn the Cowgirls. That's a fact. Corky says, I like flat. You know what's crazy? Corky, I've been calling you Corey for so long. You ain't correct me, man. You never corrected me, man. I apologize. My man Corky says, I like Flat. I hope he stays along with Illuminor. I watch it. I look at your name. I'm just so quick to say Corey. And today I'm realizing that it's Corky. I apologize, man. I apologize for that. Rev, what's going on, Rev? How you doing, Rev? Rev says no tanking. LRP says no. Michael Knight. Shout out to Michael Knight. He says hell no. Oh, I'm sorry. I asked y'all a second question. About Hyatt. No for Hyatt. Yeah, the no's have it. The nays have it. LRP asks, yo, does Kafka and Charlie get a Fed? Hell no. Kafka's done. As soon as that game is over, Kafka can pack all his shit up. Paul, I'm sorry. Curse slipped. I apologize for cursing. He's packing his stuff up, man. You know how they do it? You know how they do in corporate? They give you a box. They give you that box with the hole with the handle. I don't know what them boxes are called. They give you that, and you can pack his stuff up. He ain't got to show back up. Exit meetings. I don't know, man. He might come back for an interview. I do think they give him an interview, but that's all just for. It just is what it is. And then when it comes to Charlie, I wouldn't mind having Charlie Bullen on the staff. I wouldn't mind that at all. It just depends on if he is. I don't want him forced on any head coach. He does have a connection with Vance Joseph. He has a connection with Matt Burke. I'm pretty sure he's been coaching for like 20 years, so he probably has more connections than that. But it is what it is. LRP said I made that. I try not to. Well, you know me. I curse a lot. I just don't like to curse on the channel. I try to keep it as kid friendly as possible because you never know who's watching. You know, I'll leave it alone. That's just the way I like to do it. But it is late enough. I can let that slide and it be cool. JDJ says, Dash, they're not even gonna leave Kafka with a stapler and let Kafka work in the basement. That's an Office Space reference. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My stapler. Have you seen my stapler? Yeah. I was going to talk a little bit about the draft, but I'm tired. Boss. Maybe I'll save that for the next show. Also, speaking of that, obviously the New York Giants season will be over after tomorrow. I plan on taking a little bit of a break because I got to jump right back into, obviously the draft talk and stuff like that, prepping for the offseason thing for the New York Giants, seeing who the coach might be. So, with that being said, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a show next Saturday. Like I might just want to enjoy the playoffs. We'll see what happens. Enjoy, get a little bit of break before we jump back in. But if anything happens, if we get a coaching hire, if somebody gets fired, if there anything important happening with the Giants, I will absolutely be here for that. Maybe not on Saturday, but possibly for Wednesdays live and stuff like that. But just letting you guys know, if you don't see me, I didn't disappear. I'm taking a break for the rest of the, for the playoffs and stuff like that. But I will be here. I will be dropping also, regular videos and updates as well. But a lot of it will be shifting into draft talk and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are around for that ride as well. Greg T says, my stapler. Nah, that's a fact. Now Office Space was hilarious. They moved Buddy down in the basement, dark basement, in a coat closet. Not even a coat closet, like a janitor's closet, whatever. They had him in that. He was in a tight space. That guy's a good actor too, man. That guy's a fantastic actor. The guy that plays that guy, he got a lot of range. Sean says the only assistant coach I like to keep is Carmen. I agree with that. I live in Office Space 2026. It was the mailroom. That's what it was. It was the mailroom. Listen, I ain't seen that movie in like 15 years, to be honest. And I'm not even joking. I probably haven't seen that movie in like 15 years. It was a mailroom. Okay. I thought it was smaller than that. I thought he looked like he was in a closet, man. I could be wrong, though. Steve said Priscilla was a must. David Ford said nobody is getting fired. We keeping everybody. Laugh out loud. If we keep everybody, the break that I take might be a little bit longer. Because I'm gonna need to recoup from that. Recoup. And yeah. The copy machine beat down. Yeah, they took the copy machine outside. They had bats for the copy machine. They had the music playing in the background for the that show. That movie was good. That movie, I ain't lying, man. I might have to do so. I might have to start a separate channel where we just react to stuff and have these type of conversations, man. That way I can really spend time doing it, because I feel like sometimes I'm cheating people if I get away from the Giants talk, man. Try to stay focused, try to be professional. Giants channel. Maybe I'll do something different though for a different channel. Faye says, hey Dash, what do you think about Jordan Tyson? I thought we talked about this last week, Faye. Jordan Tyson is a fantastic prospect, playmaker, explosive, complete wide receiver, inside and out. Can be the X, can play all the positions, right? The only reservation I have, which is a big reservation for Jordan Tyson, is he's always nicked up or banged up. He had the major knee injury like 2 seasons ago, but last year I think it was the shoulder. This year was the hamstring, and that's the part that scares me. I was talking with Emory Hunt, man. Shout out to Emory Hunt. I was talking to him in the direct messages, and I asked him that same question because at the time, this like 2 weeks ago, I asked him. I said, tell me, let me know what you think about Jordan Tyson. The one thing I'm worried about is nobody is talking about the injury history. And he hit me up. He said, I'm concerned. There's real concerns about the injury history. If the medicals come back, then it's different. He said, he said he wouldn't touch him in the top 10 with that injury history. Now the consensus is he's going to go first. He could possibly go in the top 5. But I was happy to see that somebody else was talking about the injuries for Jordan Tyson. But after that, I started seeing, other, draft analysts talk about Jordan Tyson's and the injuries and what the medical's going to look like when they come back. So I'm happy that somebody else finally started talking about it, because I'm sitting here, I'm feeling like I'm in a twilight zone. Like, am I the only person that's concerned about the injuries for Jordan Tyson? And then I was happy to see somebody else was talking about it finally. So shout out to them. But shout out to Emery Hunt, man. That's definitely somebody I want to get on the show. During the maybe when I do the wide receiver review, maybe I'm able to get him on the show for that one, man. Because that's the plan, man. We like to talk draft talk. We already know it in the chat now. We like to talk about draft talk. Yes, there's going to be a post game tomorrow. I will be doing a post game live tomorrow for sure. We'll be doing that. But I'm definitely going to try to get draft analysts on the show. I'm going to throw out some ideas to them, talk to them about candidates, what I think about them, to see what they think about them and compare notes and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be cool. You guys should tap in for that. I'm going to lock down a few guests for that, and then some people that you know, some people that you might not know. But yeah, and see how that goes, man. See who picks up the phone when I call or when I send the emails. If they pick up and I can get them on the show, I'm definitely going to get them on the show because there's a lot to talk about. Just because the Giant season is over doesn't mean we stop talking ball, man. We got all college prospects. We got the combine. We got the Senior Bowl. All that stuff to do. And yeah. That's asking a lot. Dash with Mel Kiper would be. I wish I can get Mel Kiper on the show. But there's a lot of guys not as popular as Mel Kiper that really know what really know their stuff. That I've been able to have conversations with, directly. And then hopefully, like I said, if the schedule works, not everybody's available on a Saturday night. Just because I'm available to talk Saturday night, a lot of people got lives and they're not as crazy as me or they spend so much time away from the family already that Saturdays for them. For me, it's the opposite, man. I'm with my family all week. I do all my research all week, and then I'm with my second family, you guys, to talk ball after that. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Again, I will be live tomorrow for the live recap. Giants versus Dallas. I do want to win. I understand what happens if we win. It is what it is. We'll deal with it and cross that bridge when we got to cross that bridge. That dark friend says Tate over Tyson. You listen before I go, man. And I'm cutting it pretty close. Because I do want my AI clips. Tate over Tyson. It was so many fair weather people in the fan base. After that Ohio State game, Ohio State Miami game. After that game, a lot of people bailed on Carnell Tate. I remember the people talking about him, and it's funny to me because no way with all that good tape of Carnell Tate that you just throw him to the side after one performance. Just doesn't make sense to me. I also see my man Stephen Bloom says lemon Tate Tyson. That's your order. Lemon is going to surprise a lot of people. Once because they're like Tyson is popular, Tate is popular because of Ohio State, and then you can find clips of Tyson everywhere. For the USC fans and the people that stay up late and watch USC play and all other stuff, Lemon is a playmaker. He actually might be the best wide receiver in the class. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. We're gonna get out of here. Giants play the Raiders tomorrow. Prediction: I think Giants play the Cowboys tomorrow. He's not that small, man. It says Lemon is too small. He's 5'10", about 195 pounds. He's not too small. He's not too small. Because when you say he's too small, I think like Wandell. But I think Lemon is special. He's a special player. But I'm already over the 2 hour mark, so it is what it is. Let's get some quick predictions, and then we're gonna get out of here. New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys at MetLife. Jackson Dart's first time playing the Dallas Cowboys. I do think the New York Giants pull it off with nobody there. Jackson Dart does it all tomorrow. He throws the ball to himself, runs it in for a touchdown. But I got the Giants actually beating Dallas tomorrow. Don't know who all is playing, if they're holding anybody out as far as the Dallas side, but I do believe everybody's playing. But that's my score. I see my man Isaac says 34-30 G-Men. Michael Knight says 20-24 Cowboys. Jake Castile says 31-28 Giants. Okay. All right. And again, shout out to the 113 still in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. It does more as this channel was growing. The like buttons mean a lot. And I do appreciate you guys. Stephen Bloom said Cowboys 100, Giants 0. We're going to end it on that, man. I don't think that's crazy. That's crazy, Steve, but it is what it is. Ian says, finally, last game of the season. Ain't that something? We right back to where we were. Maybe even worse. Greg T says 36-27 Giants. Luann says 28-17 Giants. That dark friend think we win because Cowboys chill out 24-17. Phil says if we're going to win, I hope it's defense. You know, it's still not too late. I think the family, I think we might watch Wicked tonight. That's what I think we're going to do. Jacob still, there you go, says good night, family. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. See you tomorrow.